So, what is bullshit, and why would a person decide to put their foot down if it seems that a job they're applying for might be asking them, are you willing to participate in the bullshit? And, so that's something I don't think I addressed. Like as I was kind of making it sound like, oh, how much time, it's all an issue of time. And in one sense, you could say it is, because our life is always about, we only have a certain amount of time, and what are we going to do with it? How do we decide? And that's really what values are. Values say, hey, I value this, I don't value that. This is how I spend my time. And a job, is obviously a decision about a huge amount of time you're going to spend, and for what purpose, So if this job application is indirectly asking me, are you willing to spend this time doing things that really make no sense? I mean, it is not, if there is no reason for me to put all that information that they already have. And I mean, they wanted in these fields, these tiny fields, computer fields that I was supposed to spend all this, I had 76 errors. I didn't mention that in my part 1 video. So I had 76 errors when I submitted that application. So they wanted 76, at least, that's just the minimum, I think, bits of information that were placed into tiny fields that, it wasn't even straightforward. But point is, if they're asking me if I'm willing to do that, I think what they're really asking me is, and again, I was talking about desperation, and what does it mean to be really desperate? Well, it might mean that I'm willing to say, okay, my own sense of what makes sense, my own sense of, a quality expression of time, a quality employment of my agency, of my skill set, and so it doesn't seem so insignificant that, this job application might be asking me if I'm willing to just violate my experiential sense of what is a useful, or, in a job as a crisis worker. Like, I would hope they would want a human being who, really has empathy and a deep sense of human life and the significance of human life, and so yeah, the irony of kind of possibly asking me this question of, are you willing to do things that violate your humanity? Because human beings we're not robots, we're not, we have, like, not only, thoughts about and ideals and, dreams that maybe are more mental, but we have a felt sense of what is good, what is right, what is kind, what matters really, what's essential. Those are human experiences. And, so this whole thing of, hey, are you willing to kind of go against all that and spend a bunch of time doing something that really makes no sense to you? That doesn't seem as that minor. It seems kind of major. And it relates to bigger issues in our society, regarding, in a word, we could call it fascism. When corporate values, corporate interests, the corporate bottom line, and this current conversation people are having about healthcare, and a huge machine that has been systematically denying human beings the care they need to sustain their life. And, there are now all these stories coming out about all these people who've died, and a lot of human beings under the directives of, leadership, have been part of a machine that has been denying people they're paying for access to healthcare, and they're still being denied that. And that's some of the conversation. So I'm connecting my experience with this, application process to seeing it as maybe some deeper questions about what kind of human being are you, and maybe this company, despite the fact that they're allegedly in the business of helping people, maybe they don't want to mess around with human beings who are a little too human. They don't want that. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. I mean, but it seems super weird, that a company in the business of allegedly helping people would want to make this first move you have to make to seem so at odds with the value set that would, drive us to want to help another human being. You're not going to make much money, of course. So, those are my further reflections on the meaning of bullshit. Yeah. Okay. That's it.